In this video, your favorite Neil deGrasse Tyson gets into an argument with a hardcore alien believer on the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts radio podcast. So if you're someone who thinks like them, this video is just for you. And if you're like me, get ready to let that rage out of your brain. One last important thing, please don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below.
We have a guy on our, he's a big conspiracy guy. He thinks there's been like thousands of alien abductions.
And what does he base it on?
That's, I would love to ask him. If we get Troy in here, I would like him to ask you because we are genuinely curious.
Do you think that there's been alien abductions?
I have not seen convincing evidence.
He said based on the reports that people have given that they've been
based
abducted.
on eyewitness testimony.
Oh,
Yes.
Troy, do you want to ask Mr.
Which, of
Tyson?
course, though eyewitness testimony be high in the court of law, it is the lowest form of evidence in the court of science.
Oh.
If you go to a scientific conference and say this is true because I saw it, it's like they'll just laugh you out of the room.
Right.
It's like come back when you have a reliable and verifiable means of recording that information. Hey,
how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Troy, all right.
But at this moment, if you were to be asked, you would say you're not saying that alien abductions couldn't happen or have happened, but you have no evidence.
I'll just say the evidence that has been put forth as evidence is not convincing to a skeptic.
Right.
And most of that evidence is either, and we'll find out in a minute, either someone with eyewitness testimony coming forth giving firsthand account of what they experienced, or it is something in the sky that they didn't understand and presumed it to be something in the absence of actual evidence to support it.
Could have been Aurora Borealis.
It could have been something. It could have been actually aliens. But
could have been.
But I just bring me an alien. Then we're good.
There's been a few that are questionable.
Yeah.
Well, you're you're quite convinced.
Troy, how you doing?
Good, man.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
You're quite convinced of the alien abductions.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
Wait. Have you been abducted?
I have not. No.
Okay, so you're trusting the words of other people.
I'm just going by what I've seen before, as far as
words from other people,
testimonies, as far as
testimonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 girls in Zimbabwe who are 5 years old, and they came running up. They're out playing in a field. They came running up to the house. 3 little, they're little girls, 5 years old.
So they don't have point of reference to a lot of things.
They've taken these girls apart, separated them, said, "What did you see?" They all said the same thing, and they all drew the same thing. So when you see something like that, it's kind of hard to be like, you know what? Those girls just made that up. That's not real.
Okay, so now we might have 1 billion people in the world today who carry with them a camera and a video and a video camera, and it's called a smartphone. So in the era of the smartphone, where everyone can record unambiguously what is in front of them, we don't have some increase in the number of reports of abductions or anything else. That number, we have pictures of extremely rare things now, like buses getting flipped into the air from tornadoes. There was a day when you would say, "Hey, that's interesting. Let me go home and get my box camera to photograph that." So we knew things happened, but we never photographed them. We have such capacity to record today, and I don't see any better evidence than ever has been put forth. So we can say the girls saw something. We don't know what it is. That's not enough evidence to convince a skeptic that they were actually visited by aliens.
Well, and that's what you're saying is not necessarily true, because there is a lot of evidence of recorded, documented, unexplainable things in the sky.
Wait a minute. Just because you can't explain it doesn't mean it's a visiting alien from outer space. I'm not saying there isn't unexplained things in the sky. That happens all the time, especially to people who don't really know and understand sky phenomenon, especially to them. But by and large, you can encounter something in the sky that you can't explain. Happens all the time.
How about airline?
By admitting you can't explain it, you have removed yourself from further conversation about it. You cannot say, "I don't know what that is, therefore it must be a visiting alien from outer space." A period goes at the end of the sentence of, "There's something I can't explain floating in the sky in front of me." Boom, you're done.
What about airline pilots? So those guys are the only ones that give a lot, because they understand how things move when they fly and propulsion much better than most of the average person does.
What I'm saying is, I'm talking about human beings here. I don't care what your profession is. I don't care how many chevrons are on your side. I don't even care if you're a scientist. The point is, what we have learned, and psychologists back this up. Scientists found it first, then psychology got invented, and they study this to no end, that the human sensory system is one of the most susceptible of any data-taking configurations to bias, to mood, to misinterpretation, to all of these. And we say, damn, how are we going to do science when the human sensory system is so susceptible? Let's build machines that can make the measurements, that remove your eyes, that don't use your hearing, that don't require you to taste it, that don't require you to even have to think about it. We measure it. Now I can show you this measurement. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
and by the way, it got extra complicated in the era of Photoshop, because now Photoshop practically had an alien button. You press it, and throws in a UFO. All right. So even if you produce photographic evidence in this day of doctored photos, it's a start. It's
But still
better
not
than your
enough.
eyewitness, but it's a start. I'm saying, grab me an alien. And we're good. We're good to go. All these people who are sure they're aliens, get one. It's fine. And I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to say you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying there aren't aliens out there. I'm not even saying they haven't visited. Produce one, and you will convince every single skeptic there ever was. That's all.
What about the green?
There was a movie, one of the dog movies, either Dogs or... one of the dog movies.
Right.
Where the whole movie is in the perspective of dogs.
Right.
Okay? There's a kid who finds a crashed flying saucer that the Great Dane had flown to Earth in.
Marley and Me.
That's not the dog movie.
Okay. So now watch. Okay? Another kid says,
Yes.
no, I don't believe you. Because here's eyewitness. So the kid brings him to the crashed flying saucer. It says, okay, so now let's continue. It was great. It
Right.
was very simple.
That's science.
It was, yes.
Yes.
That is science.
I mean, over Christmas, if anybody was online, half the internet was convinced that Sinbad starred in a genie movie called Shazam. And everybody had this same... It was a collective memory. Everybody had a memory
Collective
of this movie.
delusion.
Right,
Yes.
right. And they were all in agreement that this movie had happened, and it was a thing, until Sinbad came out and said the reason there is no record of this movie is because I was never in a movie called Shazam. I was not in a genie movie. I've never played a genie in a movie. But because people remember it, and because their friend remembers it, and because the other people on the internet remember it.
These are cognitive failures of the human memory. And the sensory system is in there as well. We've known this. If you count how many people said they witnessed Bobby Thompson's home run, or name some other...
Babe Ruth pointing.
If you log how many people say they were at the game, it far exceeds the number of seats in Yankee Stadium.
And some of those people actually believe they were at the game.
Yes.
Most of them are liars, though.
Some are
They
liars.
just wanna
No,
be a part
some
of
are
it.
lie on purpose. Others believe they were actually there.
I mean, there's a whole...
and they can. And if you believe something that is not true, but you're compelled that it is true, you'll pass every lie detector test, right? I mean, it's whatever.
Because you believe it.
Because you believe it. That's
Right.
right. That's
So
all
you
that
think it's
matters.
being covered up, Troy?
Yeah.
Well, right. So we haven't gotten to the conspiracy part yet. So, what all conspiracy theorists have in common, everyone I've met and spoken with, is there's a point where the data either don't agree with what they already want to be true, or there's just an absence of data. And so when they get to that point, they invoke the conspiracy. And it's more often where the data don't agree with what they want to be true that they'll say, oh, it's being covered up or withheld or purposefully masked, so that they make you think something else instead of the actual truth. So there's always some gapping going on in the data. And the gapping in every case is the assertion that there's some powerful secret agency that is covering it up. And I'm charmed that many people think it's the U.S. government. That is assigning a level of competence to the U.S. government far beyond anyone who's actually worked for the government will report to you about.
You think that's true, or you think the government's up to some shit?
Yeah, I think they're up to some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
how did...
Wait. Don't get me wrong. The government's always up to something.
And
The
it's just-
government's always trying to keep a secret. The question is whether they will succeed
Right.
in keeping the secret of stockpiling it. Look how much we knew about President Clinton's genitalia. If
lot.
there was ever a state secret, it would have been what he does with his, where he puts it. All right? But there it was on TV.
How do you respond to that, the competency angle?
Well, first of all, I think that, you said with conspiracy theorists, they believe one thing. I think non-conspiracy theorists do the exact same thing in the other direction. where they're so far convinced that they won't ever go, oh, you know what, that's actually interesting. As far as like Roswell goes, the crash in Roswell, the day after it happened, the Army issued a press release saying that there has been a UFO that crashed in Roswell. We have recovered bodies. Then all of a sudden the next day, it's a weather balloon. And it's like, how would you mix those two up? So
Right.
so it's multiple things like that. And you're right. There are no alien bodies. We don't see them. But there are things like somebody in the Russian.
Do you think they have alien bodies probably in Roswell?
I mean, I would.
Did you
think
see
so.
Alien Autopsy?
Oh, that was terrific.
No, that was fake.
No,
Right?
it
That
wasn't.
Are you talking about the documentary where they went
Yeah.
through and they supposedly had a fake alien
Yeah, they
body
did
and
the
they
autopsy.
debunked that? Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible that some of the
One reason
sign...
why, by the way, the phone on the wall had a coiled handset, which came out 10 years later than what they said.
Isn't it amazing how they blew
It's
it?
hard to
that
fake.
one little thing?
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a possibility that some of the scientists and their data actually have incorrect data because of what the government does?
Yeah, but there's just so many things though that point to the direction that there would be aliens that it's so hard to discredit everything and be
Carl
like, no,
Sagan, Carl Sagan
Oh,
didn't
it's
believe they had
easy
come.
to discredit
I mean,
everything.
all these people are crazy. The thousands and thousands
I
of
didn't say
people.
anybody's crazy.
They
We're
are.
all humans.
So
and we're all susceptible.
A lot are, though.
And so I never used the word crazy. I never said that. All I'm saying is what you're presenting and what you think is legitimate evidence simply isn't scientifically.
Okay, what
and,
about-
and I'm not using different rules to apply to you than I would to any of my colleagues saying anything else about much less interesting things in the universe.
So what about these people that claim to be abducted that have had certain things implanted in their body that are not found on Earth?
Crazy liars?
That's
Nutcases?
No. There's nothing in their body that no one is able to identify.
Yeah, that's not true. They found stuff. They found implants that were from meteorites.
What we should do
They
is...
found a meteorite
what I'm
implant
saying
on
is,
somebody?
Tiny
all
little-
I'm saying is give me the aliens. Until you can do that, we have nothing to talk
Well, then
about.
where'd they get the meteorite?
That's all I'm saying. Meteorites are all over the Earth.
Oh.
Well, what
Okay?
That
evidence
is found
were
on
they found
Earth?
in a body of meteorite evidence? You're saying they found
There's
things?
What
like-
I'm saying is, I have set the bar for you. Until that bar is crossed, we actually don't have much to talk about. And I'm not going to stop you from capturing the aliens. Go right ahead. Do it.
You don't have those kind of
My
tools,
sense of it is, if an alien has the power to cross the galaxy and show up at Earth, it's not going to show up to a farmer in the backyard that has to then tell us what the farmer saw, or to 5-year-old children. That'll be a major thing that will go unmistakably down in history as an alien visitation. That is my sense of it. But I produce the alien and we're good. Then all of you will be vindicated. Don't you want that to happen?
All of you, the crazies.
Yeah.
All of you.
Yeah.
Don't you want to be vindicated?
The locos.
They just
Until that happens, don't expect scientific skeptics to jump on your bandwagon. Just don't expect that. And I've told you why.
Tell them about the thing with the similarities.
Oh, they say that
Who's they?
people that have been doing the
People, okay.
research.
The folks.
well, scientists are people too. So
That's right.
And
We're all
kids are people
aren't we?
too. If
Okay.
you remember Bob McAllister, all kidding aside.
Good point, Jim.
Thanks,
I'm glad
Sam.
you brought that up. Yeah.
So the
Good addition.
people, doctors, scientists, whatever you want to call them, that have documented the alien abductions.
People scientists,
whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them.
whatever title you want to throw on there. I'm with you.
Regardless,
The alien
regardless.
abductions, as reported,
Dorks.
are personal eyewitness testimonies of events that happened to themselves.
Sure.
Okay, just let's be clear. Okay,
But
To
tell me
say-
about
to-
the-
wait, just
Oh,
I'm
okay.
distinguishing the quality of your data. All right, to say these alien abductions that happened. No, these are alien abductions that people say happened. Okay, just be
fair.
clear.
That's fair.
We, as a
Qualify.
scientist, we distinguish the sources of information. Otherwise, it's a jumble of he said, she said, and so you mean the alien abductions that people say they have experienced? Continue.
Yes. Then the people that have the doctors that have been documenting them.
Yes.
There are certain people that speak with people that claim to be abducted. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of abductions, and they have research on what they have done to them, and a lot of the people that have been abducted have the same blood type. They're like 49% of the people. So for that to be claimed to be
And the eyes?
and eye colors, most of them have green eyes.
Oh, so maybe they're specifically looking
So-
for green eyes,
Yes.
type whatever.
So I mean, is that enough evidence to say there's aliens? No, but that's definitely something that's like, oh, that's a little odd. That's a little weird.
So keep at it. Go ahead. I won't stop.
I think he knows. I think he knows the truth.
I'm not authorized to divulge.
You think if you had to guess, Troy, if you had to guess, because he's talking science, because I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a public figure of science.
Sure.
But if you think you were having drinks with him and just saying like, let's really
Off the record, where like people, because it would be major news if he came on this radio show and said he knew about aliens.
Yeah, but
Huge.
off the record, if
I'm
you were
not
just
authorized
talking,
to comment on that.
I think
you were just talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
he's got the inside scoop. He knows what's going on. He does. He plays it down for the radio because you have to.
You know where he's going to reveal it, by the way? He's promoting Star Talk Mondays, 11 o'clock on Nat Geo.
And I will have a public announcement only on then.
Yes.
So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you are interested in more science and space facts, watch this next amazing video of Joe Rogan and Professor Brian Cox.